Hey y'all, it's Mark again here. How y'all been doing? It is September 3rd today, and now that it's September, you know what that means. It's Halloween Eve. It's the Burr months, the season of horror movies and the leaves changing. The weather's starting to finally get cooler. This is my favorite time of the year, y'all, and it's finally here. September is Halloween Eve and Halloween season, so it's about time, y'all, because I'm done with summer. I've had enough of heat in summer. The weather's finally starting to get cooler. It'll be chilly soon. Once October even comes around, it'll be even better. But the leaves are about to start changing soon. The weather's feeling good. And I'm getting in that good horror movie moods. Vampires and werewolves and zombies and ghosts. It's that time of the year, y'all. This is another beautiful day. Now that the weather's starting to get cooler, I definitely want to go visit some old cemeteries and graveyards for y'all and film them again. I got some new ones coming up. I live probably one of the oldest parts of the state, Mississippi. So there's plenty of cemeteries that go back to the early 1800s here, and people that were born in the late 1700s, um, Victorian era, late colonial era. Um, I definitely got to film some more cemeteries for y'all soon. I miss it, but like I said, you just can't go into the graveyard when it's 90 degrees. Doesn't feel right to me, y'all. It's got to be chilly weather, and it's that time of year. It's Halloween season. It's finally September, the Burr months, my favorite time of the year, y'all. Uh, thank you, God. I had enough for summer. I figured I'd talk to you about some of my favorite horror movies, and when it comes to ghosts and vampires and werewolves and all that good stuff. Before I do, I'm usually I'm usually not a liquor guy, y'all, but I just wanted some. You can't go wrong with Jägermeister. Ice cold from the freezer. I think this is the first time I've ever had a taste of liquor on my channel with y'all. I've never done it. I've had a couple beers with y'all, but you never see me drink a little liquor. Now, I'm not real big on liquor, but I tell you, I gotta have a taste every now and then. You know, I just don't really like getting drunk on this stuff, but it's damn good. I just prefer one or two. I don't like drinking a lot of these, but I'm gonna drink it while it's ice cold. Cause Jaeger's the best when it's right out of the freezer. If I can get it open here, hold on. Damn, my hand. There we go. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna talk to you some about my favorite horror movies. I'm gonna film some old cemeteries and graveyards for you very soon. That the weather's starting to feel great. I mean, it's feeling good, y'all. I mean, I can actually sit outside, and it's not so hot anymore. And the leaves are gonna start changing soon. This is my favorite time of the year. Pumpkin beer, Oktoberfest beer. This is something about it. They say this in the spiritual world, the veil is thinning. It gets thinner in the fall time towards Halloween in the winter. So I'm a very spiritual person, and I do believe in spirits for sure. Anyways, I want to go ahead and drink this while it's ice cold for y'all. Cheers, Jaeger. My first ever taste of liquor on the channel with y'all. Wow, that is good. This is like 2 in 1. Uh, yeah, it's a bigger shot. It's like 2 shots in one. See, it's pretty good. All right, add one. And there's the other one. Cheers, y'all. Woo, that's good. Cheers. And I like the I like the logo of Jaeger. I actually have a tin sign of the Jaeger with the deer and everything, and the cross. I have it in my room, my bedroom. That is an awesome design. Cheers, y'all. Um, anyway, back to the horror movies. Let's see. Vampire wise, I don't know. Interview with the Vampire is right up there with my favorites. That's a classic from the 1994. And then you got Fright Night. That is a great vampire movie from 1985. That is definitely one of my favorite vampire movies. Oh, can't forget the original Nosferatu. That movie is awesome, y'all. I mean, that vampire probably had to be one of the best. I mean, it's a 1920s film. It's in black and white. It's silent film, but it's probably one of the scariest horror movies I've ever seen. I mean, it's even for its time. It's such a dark movie. Um, let's see. Go with zombie movies now. Zombie movies. I don't know. I kind of like Night of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead. Those are some good ones. The original Night of the Living Dead from 1968, and then I like the remake from 1990. That's a great movie. Filmed in the countryside of Pennsylvania. A beautiful location where the movie was filmed, and it's just a great movie all around. Definitely a great vampire movie. Zombie movie. And then you got Return of the Living Dead from 1985. That is a classic one. You can't beat those. Let's see. Let's go with. I don't really have a favorite with Ghost. I just talk about ghosts and stuff, but I don't really have a favorite movie with ghosts or anything. Werewolves. Now, my top favorite would have to go to An American Werewolf in London. Great classic from 1981. With David Naughton in it. I mean, that's the most classic werewolf movie you can watch. And if you haven't seen it, definitely do, y'all. Now, as far as just regular horror movies, Friday the 13th, I would say Part 2 is my favorite of the series. And Freddy Krueger, I have to go with Part 3, The Dream Warriors. That's a great one. As far as the Jason Voorhees movie, I like the second one the best because on the third one, he got the, famous hockey mask and all that. I get it. That's when he, got bigger. But Part 2, it's just before he got the hockey mask. It's so much creepier, y'all. And it's just one of my favorite Jason Voorhees movies of the Friday 13th series. As far as movies go, I'm trying to think of another favorite. Amityville Horror, the original Part 1 and 2. I like the remake from 2005, but I prefer the first two. And I think Part 2 is my favorite, I would have to say. With the Italian family, Burt Young plays in it. That's a great movie. It's kind of like the prequel to the first one, pretty much. The first one's a classic too. Okay, I think that's a pretty good selection of horror movies for y'all. But getting back to what I was talking about earlier with the graveyards and cemeteries, like I said, I live in Mississippi, y'all, and I live in one of the oldest parts of the state, and there's plenty of cemeteries that go back to the late 1700s here, early 1800s. And there are definitely some I haven't filmed yet for y'all, and I will be doing that this fall season. Uh, there's plenty around here. So it's like I said, you're not going to know every one of them until you do research around here. Like I can be. That's the thing about living out in the country out here, y'all. You be on these country roads, driving around. All of a sudden, you see a cemetery that was from 1820s, 1830s. I mean, just sitting there. And as as a historian, I love this stuff. There's plenty of old churches from the early 1800s. I went to a church. I went back to 1820 in Jones County, Mississippi. Um, I definitely might have to go film that one for y'all, and you can walk in and stuff. It's open to the public, so and it's got like history to it. You can see it. They say it's haunted, and I say so because when I went in there a couple years ago, I wish I would have filmed it back then, but I wasn't really doing the YouTube thing back then. But when I went in there, I can definitely hear footsteps coming right towards me, and there's no one in there. And this church goes back to 1820. It's over 200 years old, and I definitely heard some footsteps. I am a believer, and like I said, the veil is thinning towards Halloween, and now that's getting fall time, and the spiritual world kind of opens up a bit more for people who do believe. Not everyone does, and that's fine. But I've had too many experiences to not believe in spirits. Last year, I was watching TV in my dining room, and I heard a knock on my door, plain as day. And I live out in the country, y'all. There is the Wesleyana Cemetery that I have filmed. I filmed it about a year and a half ago. If y'all go back and watch it, goes back to the early 1800s. And you got people born in there. They were born at right at 1800, 1805. So I mean, it's very old. Lots of history. So it's a small cemetery, but I live right next to it. It's right down the road out here. That's probably why. I mean, I've only had that one experience here, but I have, I've had other spiritual things happen. I have seen a spirit. Actually, two of them. It was so fast though. It's like they look at you and then they just disappear. And I've seen doorknobs move on their own. I mean, so it's like I'd be saying I would be bullshitting if I said I didn't believe in ghosts. I do. I mean, how do you explain that stuff? You can't. You can't explain that. And I've been to Salem, Massachusetts. I've been to Tombstone, Arizona, like the oldest parts of the country. So I've seen things. And there's history right here where I live. Like I said, I live right next to an old cemetery from the early 1800s. And it's probably why, I do feel spirits around me. And I had one knock on the back door at me. And I live out here in the woods, y'all. There's no one out here. I mean, and as soon as I heard the knock, I thought it might have been a small animal or something, because we do have wildlife out here, but it definitely was, it sounded like a human knock. It sounded like this. No, I ain't gonna do it. It was just a knock like this. And definitely was not an animal. And when I looked out, there was no one there. So I just said, I respect the spiritual world. I respect spirits, but I don't want them knocking on the door at me. That was a little freaky, y'all. I'm kind of a chicken shit when it comes to that stuff. I don't like that. I mean, I do believe in them, but I don't want them knocking on the door at me. Respectfully, I just said I don't mind. I said ma'am or sir because I wasn't sure if it was a man or a woman spirit, but I showed respect to them and they left me alone. I just said, I don't mind that you're here. I know you're here. I don't mind sharing this world with you. Just please don't knock on the door at me. They probably had a good laugh at me. But I didn't feel like it was nothing bad. It was just probably somebody saying hello to me. It happens once in a while. That's why I said I am a true believer. As long as you show respect, they're not going to bother you. I've been touched on my arm once. I felt like a cold hand go like this, and I was like, "Whoa!" Because when you get in touch, you're not seeing anything. That can freak you out. But anyways, so yeah, now that's fall time. The leaves are gonna start changing here soon. The weather's starting to feel great. I'm ready for some chilly weather, y'all. That's why I'm ready to go film some old cemeteries and graveyards and churches, historical places. You just can't. Being in a cemetery in hot weather just doesn't feel the same. It's not the same vibe, y'all. That's why I prefer when it gets chilly to go film these for y'all. And I do have some new ones coming up. And I'll probably go back to the old cemetery by my house and film that one again for y'all. It's pretty creepy. It's old. But don't disrespect the spiritual world. Don't. Always show respect, because they were they had families of their own they loved. Just because you're not here anymore doesn't mean you're not the same person. I do believe in spirits. We do pass on. When we move on, and we move on in spiritual form. I don't really like saying the term ghost. That's why I like spirits. Anyways, let me come sit down, y'all. I've always been the kind of person to be a believer, and what can I say? This is my favorite time of the year. It's great. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. It's the nights are starting to get a little shorter. It's definitely starting to get darker soon. Now that the fall's coming around. Today is September 3rd, so we're just starting to get into the season. Anyways, alright, y'all. It was good seeing y'all again. Have a great night, okay? Stay tuned for my new videos soon.